$800 cash card for the fixed income, including Social Security, retirement, disability, Ssdi, survivors, and Medicare. When are we going to get it? And what are the updates? I have the all details for you in this video, so let's get into it right now. So I want to discuss these $800 cash cards really quickly. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, let me quickly explain what these are. So a few months ago, in the first quarter of the 2021, these cards were actually announced out of some senior center Democrats. So here, what explains was when these were originally introduced, the senior center Democrats were coming out and saying, we want to introduce card anywhere between the $600 and $1,000. Then we sent out about the 63 million beneficiaries, low income, fixed income beneficiary, Social Security, Ssdi, survivors, and Medicare to help them cover some unnecessary expenses during this time. This card could be anywhere between $600 and $1,000. Shortly thereafter, Betty Sanders came out shortly thereafter and said, let's make it $1,000. Then shortly thereafter, the president came out and says $800. It is going to be an $800 prepare card. Okay, so that is where it's been ever since the president made that announcement. A few weeks after the original announcement came out, it's been sitting at $800 ever since. So here, what the plan was in this bill backed further a channel. Remember, the stimulus package that we are currently working on right now that has been kind of being tabled as a last couple weeks here. This is the $2 trillion package that's on the table. Well, as a result of that plan, one of the major provisions that they want to do within the plan is expand Medicare benefits, right? So they want to include hearing, dental, and vision coverage as well. As a result of negotiations, they've unfortunately removed vision coverage and they've removed dental coverage. It's only has right now, expansion to hearing coverage for Medicare. However, they've been looking at it and saying like childhood of bringing back. Dental is almost non-existent. It is almost pretty much not going to happen. That one is not in the package, and it's likely never coming back as far as Medicare expansion simply because it's too expensive. They've also been looking at bringing back vision coverage, and that's one still up in air right now. They are looking at it, they are working on it, and they may bring back vision coverage. But that again is not their volunteer, but it could potentially be happening. However, when it comes to dental, they've been looking at it and thinking, what can we do? That's what brought up this whole idea of these $800 per repair cards. Now, let's get into talking about where we currently stand on this. This is part of the Build Back Better agenda. Well, as the right now, the Build Back Better agenda, otherwise known as the President's agenda, or the spending bill, the reconciliation bill. This as of right now is fake. It's just on the table. It's not really doing anything. It's essentially just sitting on somebody's desk and not getting anywhere. They are not working on it. Currently, negotiations on this package have pretty much stopped as of now. For the last few weeks here, probably the last 3 weeks, or so we have done essentially nothing with it, and they don't intend to do anything with it until the next couple of weeks here. So probably about 2 weeks from right now is when they actually intend to bring it to the floor in the Senate, personally sooner. But as of the right now, it looks like they are about 2 weeks from right now until they actually bring this to the floor and actually start opening it up for the debate and talking about it in the Senate. That's the next step because it's already passed through the House. Now it is sitting in the Senate and it's been sitting here for quite a while now, a couple of months. It's been sitting here in the Senate. So when they bring it to the floor in the Senate, it's going to determine if it actually passes. If it passes and if the cars are in the bill, then we'd be good to go, right? But if they are not in there, remember, these were originally introduced as the out of the Senate Democrats. Therefore, if it's not the House version of the bill, they could simply add into this bill as the result of one of provisions out of the Senate Democrats. So as you can kind of see here, and there's a lot of steps to go. Number 1, they've got to bring the bill back for a channel, which is where these cars could be enclosed within the parameters of the Senate, right? There's no need to bring it there, and they need to start debating it. Number 2, they need to add the cars in if they are not ready in the package, and that's not that hard because they were introduced by the senior Senate Democrats. So it shouldn't be that hard to just add them into the package. Number 3, they're going to need to actually pass the package, right? So if the cars are not currently in the bill right now, they're going to need to add them into the bill, then they will need to pass it through the Senate, and then they will need to send it back in the House of the Representatives because they're going to technically have made an amendment to the bill. Therefore, it could need to be passed once again through the House. Then it could need to move on the president's desk for the signature. So there's a lot of steps here, as we can see, right? And there are a lot of things to do. Democrats also control everything right now, the House, the Senate, and the presidencies. So if they get it through and if they get it passed, it couldn't be that difficult to get the bill passed through the House, and ultimately, the signature from the president, he could start right away. That would not be a problem at all. So even though it's like there are a lot of to get done right here, there are a lot of to do, and it's going to take some time. But at the end of the day, once they get the pass through the Senate, it could just be a easy to get it over to the president and actually get the signature on it because he's already indicating that he could decide it, and ultimately it is a channel anyway. So why couldn't he decide his on the plan? This is his grandchild, and so of course he's going to be the one to decide it. That's what it all comes down to. So those of you that have been asking, as far as these $800 cards, this is where we are currently stand. It's already liable at this time right here, right now, as we wait further action on the Build Back Better agenda in the Senate here, probably in the next 2 weeks, or so personally later. But that's the current timeline that we are looking at right now. When it's come to the Build Back Better agenda and these $800 cards, even though we have all eyes on these 800 cards and wondering what's going on with them, we might have to remember to these next two stimulus packages maybe have something even better than we need to ship the actual focus and wonder what are these packages going to include.